welcome to India TV. I am Shivangi, and today we have with us American actor Alexx O'Nell, who recently shared screen space with Sara Ali Khan in Ae Watan Mere Watan. But that's not all. He has not only acted in Bollywood films, but also in several, Bengali, Malayalam, and that is not again all. He is a musician too. So, hi Alex, welcome to India TV.
Shivangi, it is such a pleasure to chat with you today, and it's wonderful to be on India TV.
So Alex, your latest work, Ae Watan Mere Watan, released recently, and you have received some positive reviews. And so tell us about how you're feeling and what drew you to the film.
Wow, okay, that's a big question. I feel great. I'm so glad that that this film, which is such a beautiful and I believe truly important film, not just for India but for all people, is doing so well in India as well as abroad. I think it's trending in the top 5 in many different places. India, it's number 1 on Amazon. So it feels good just to have people seeing your work. The feedback that I'm getting is wonderful. I think that people have been a bit harsh. Not people, I think that critics have been a bit harsh on Sara. I think we need to look at Sara's performance in Ae Watan Mere Watan for what it is. And I think it's a very good performance. I think she's done justice to the role. She hasn't overacted. She hasn't drawn in any of her pop sensibilities from her other films and projects. She's really taken this project and used it as a vehicle to show off her acting abilities. And then finally, my reviews. Honestly, I'm just filled with gratitude. I've been compared to Tom Alter. I've had glowing reviews in paper after paper after paper. I've had a couple really bad reviews, and that's fine. I welcome all reviews with the same type of enthusiasm.
So Alex, why did you choose this film?
Great question. It had a combination of really attractive things. First of all, the character is incredibly powerful. He is an angel of death in a sense. When you see him skulking through the streets of Bombay in 1942, literally hunting as if they're his prey, Congress Radio, Usha Mehta, Ram Manohar Lohia, he is a very powerful character. He's a very smart guy. He's fluent in Hindi. He has the entire weight of the empire behind him, and as such, and obviously also having control over the British Indian police force and all of its resources, as such he is this incredibly powerful antagonist against which these underdogs, these kids, 22-year-old girl Usha Mehta, must rise up and actually become more than she could have ever imagined of herself, and really that anyone else could have imagined of her. And there's this beautiful line that her grandmother in the film says. She's talking to her father, and she says, "Look, we're ordinary people. What do we know of courage?" And that really brings it home. This 22-year-old girl really takes up this challenge against the most powerful empire of the day, and that's truly inspirational. So, because of the character, because of the story, because of the team, my first time working with Tarmatic, first time working with Karan Johar as a producer. There were just too many reasons to say yes than to say anything else.
Okay, well, you've already praised Sara so much. How was it working with her? How was the vibe on set?
I think everyone that's met Sara has met a different Sara than Alex has met, because I met a very committed, a very dedicated, a very deep actress, one that understood the gravity of this responsibility. I didn't meet the wisecracking Sara, the joke-cracking Sara, the bubbly Sara. I met a very committed and dedicated actress with whom I had some of the most violent, powerful, disturbing, emotional scenes in the film. And so I told Karan Johar when we met up for the screening, I said, "Okay, this is great. Now let's make a comedy."
Now, Alex, moving on to your character. Now, when I'm talking to you, you seem to be very sweet and a calm guy, but in the film, you have played the role of British officer John Lyre. So he is a bad guy and he's a cunning officer. How did you prepare for that role?
He's a very bad guy. He's a very bad guy. He's the kind of creature who, if he shows up at your door, doesn't matter what time of day, but especially at night, you'll be terrified. If a cop shows up at your door, oh, okay, maybe I'll get arrested, maybe I'll go to jail for a night, then I'll see the judge in the morning. If John Lyre shows up, you probably are not going to survive the night. So yeah, he's a captivating character. As I said a moment ago, he speaks Hindi fluently, which for me as an actor, Alex, I do not. So it was a challenge, especially to to make sure that I had these dialogues down so effortlessly that I would be able to deliver them properly at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. You know, people have asked me often in the past about of my 40 or 45 or 50 films and series, I'd say about a third of them have been negative characters. And people often ask me, well, do you like the negative characters, the positive, or the gray? I love the gray ones because they're much more real, but the negative ones, honestly, they really propel the story forward. They're the ones against which the protagonist must rise further than he or she could ever expect of him or herself. And so I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to work with Kanan Nair, the director of this project, and Gautam Kishanandani, the casting director who I'd previously worked with in Kufia, just to be able to live this role, as dark and as violent and as disturbing as it is. It truly was a privilege to be a part of telling this story. And yeah, the character, I was both terrified and I fell in love with it.
Now, Alex, tell us about your favorite scene from the film.
Oh, there are quite a few. Okay. I would say that the one that stuck with me the most, and I've talked a little bit about this, the slap heard all over India when Sara quietly whispered to me that she wanted me to actually slap her in the face in that particular scene so that she could give the right reaction. Now, mind you, she said it quietly enough that Kanan Nair, the director, would not hear. So then if I actually ended up slapping her and injuring her, it would have been all my fault. I don't think that was her intention, but I think that she rightly understood that if Kanan heard her asking me to do that, he would quickly override that request. But it came out beautifully. I think that slap, and then what happens after that is truly the pinnacle of the film for me. And for me, that was the most poignant moment of the film. And there are so many moments of this film that are so important. But for me, it was this 22-year-old girl face to face with the Empire and not backing down. And him recognizing in that moment, here's a 22-year-old girl face to face with the Empire not backing down.
So now, Alex, moving on to your career through Indian films, particularly how did you start? Because you're not from India. And what made you think that you should start working in Indian films and across different languages? So how was that journey, and was it challenging for you?
Oh God, challenging. The challenge continues to this day. Look, my career has not just spanned countries, but it spanned cultures and it spanned languages. And that third one, that has been the most difficult for me all along. I was never very good at languages. I worked very, very hard to make sure that I live up to the expectations of my directors and writers and co-actors. I don't want people to watch my films and think, oh wow, that was really good Hindi. I want people to watch the film and then think back, oh wow, he was speaking Hindi. I didn't even notice that it was a second language for him. Indian cinema chose me as much as I chose it. I was an actor in the US on stage for 10 years, and then when I was traveling through India, I was modeling, and I was a terrible model. But thankfully, I quickly began working in the industry after Chini Kam came Loins of Punjab, and then my girlfriend and I at the time did Nach Baliye, which gave me pan-India exposure, doing all these incredible dance forms. And I'm a terrible dancer, but I just met the challenge head on, said yes.
So Alex, you are a musician as well. And
yes.
You collaborated with Arjit Singh. So what are your future plans in music? Are you planning on some album or anything?
That's a great question. Look, albums, if I was to make an album, Shivangi, I would disappear for 5 years and I would make the same album over and over and over again. I'm a perfectionist. It's very difficult for me to say, okay, this is enough. And so I can't. I need to just focus on individual singles. And I realized that, and then that's my challenge with regards to music. My other challenge with regards to music is that I can only write from my own personal experience. So I'm not like a music director where you can say, okay, Kajol comes in from this side, Shahrukh comes in from this side. This is what's happened, now write a song. I can't do that. I can write about me meeting Kajol, but I can't write about her experiences apart from me. I really can only write from my personal experience. And so my music doesn't necessarily fit well into film. And for that reason, I decided, after releasing 3 songs in India, to move to a market where music and film are largely separate art forms. In India, they're inextricably linked. Even if you say, okay, this is my favorite song, and someone will they'll ask, is that a Shah Rukh song or a Hrithik song? And you'd be like, well, it's an Arjit Singh song. It's neither of them, because I associate the music with the musician, not the actor that portrays the song on film. So for me, it made sense to migrate my music to where it is now, which is South Africa. My last two singles, Pride and These Four Walls, play on the radio every single day. I'm very happy with the way that my music is doing there. In fact, just before Ae Watan Mere Watan released, I was in South Africa, in Cape Town, promoting Pride, which is my most recent release.
So now, next question. You are a musician, you dance as well, you are acting too.
I dance very badly though, you need to work that in.
But which one is your favorite? What is it that you love doing? Acting, dancing or singing?
Well, we gotta leave dancing off, because unfortunately, as much as I would have loved to be a great dancer, I am not. Dancing, totally aside, if I was to compare acting and making music, I would say that they're both fulfilling, but in different ways. As I mentioned, music is just me putting myself out there, and film and series is a collaborative effort where I'm telling other people's stories. And so the two, while equally fulfilling, offer me totally different types of fulfillment. So both of them I love with all my heart, but the types of fulfillment that I get from the two are quite different.
Okay, so now Alex, we have a small rapid fire round where I'm going to ask you questions and you have to quickly answer them.
I'm very bad at rapid fires. So
I'm sure.
I think too much about my answers. That's the problem I have with rapid fire. But let's give it a shot.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Okay. So, favorite film you have acted in?
Ae Watan Mere Watan, but quickly followed by Arya and Mayor Charles, and then a whole bunch, and Madrasa Putnam, and so many others.
Okay.
Am I cheating? I'm cheating. I'm sorry, but but that's my.
Take your time, no issues.
All right, that was my top four, I think.
Next question: dream director to work with?
Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
No. Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan's my final answer.
Okay, got it.
It's like we're on KBC right now. Is that your final answer? Christopher Nolan, my final answer.
Okay. Then one actor or actress you would love to share screen with?
Deepika Padukone. She's a phenomenal actress, a phenomenal dancer. She's incredible. I met her. So I kind of shared a screen space with her because she came as a guest judge on Nach Baliye. So I don't know if she qualifies. But anyway, there are so many.
Okay, now next. Favorite genre to watch?
Comedy. But there's so few great comedies made. It's so hard to find good comedies. It's it's so easy to make violent films and all of this, but to make a comedy that actually makes people laugh out loud, very hard. So if you know any, please tell me.
Next is stage or screen. Which do you prefer and why?
Screen, because I did 10 years of stage. I think it's the right way to learn to act. You get instant feedback and honest feedback from the audience. If it's comedy and they're not laughing, you're doing something wrong. And if it's drama and they are laughing, you're doing something really, really wrong.
Yeah.
So great place to learn, but it's a huge time investment. And it doesn't reach as far as you'd like it to. So you may have given the best performance of your life on stage, and you will have reached 1,000 or 2,000 people. Give a good performance on screen, and you'll reach millions. So for those reasons, I'd have to stick with film. But I'm going to do a slight deviation and say also series, because series and film I think are kind of clubbed into one. And yeah, that's where you can really reach. And you can be really creative as well with film and series in a way that you can't as much be as visually creative on stage.
Okay, now moving on. Your favorite Indian food?
My favorite Indian food, chicken kolhapuri, because it's spicy and it's fantastic. And when it's a veg place, then any kolhapuri, because the masala is always the same. So whether it's chicken or veg, it would be that.
Okay, and Indian state or city you love traveling to?
My top two are Mumbai and Kolkata, because they're just two completely different cities, and I love the energy and the vibe of both, but they're like completely different, and for that I always enjoy being in both.
Now Alex, tell us about your upcoming projects. I think you're working with Akshay, Kumar and Divya Dutta as well, right?
Yeah, on two different projects. So Divya and I did a series called Bak Bak. It's not. It's announced in the way that you can find information about it on IMDb. It is not been given a release date yet, and I'm eagerly waiting for that because it is another film. It is a series in which I've worked extremely hard on my dialogues. Because my character only speaks Hindi and he only speaks like perfect Hindi. He doesn't speak a single word of English in this entire series. So that's been a unique challenge. And it's been shot beautifully and it's by Raja Menon, who just recently had Pippa, who's an incredible director. And my first project with him, my first time working with Divya. So that's exciting. Akshay and I are doing a film called Shankara. Again, you can find out more information on IMDb. But that we're still shooting, so that one probably will take some time longer. But Bak Bak will probably be my next release. So keep your eyes open for that because that is truly a special project, a dark comedy. So we weren't laughing when we were making it, but I think the audience will just kind of laugh at the absurdity of this. It's not like a laugh out loud, but just like a what is going on in this universe that this series is existing in. So that's very exciting. I'm also shooting L2 Empuran with Mohanlal, Pule with directed by Anand Gandhi. Sorry, with the actor Pratik Gandhi, directed by Anand Mahadevan. I messed that up. But anyway, second project with this director, I also worked with him on Dr. Rakhmabai. But first project, working with Pratik, who's a phenomenal actor. And then Poki Raja Dim, which is in Bengali, and I'm now currently shooting Devi Chaudrani, which is my second project with Prasenjit Chatterjee, also in Bengali. So a lot. There's a lot.
If you like this interview, then do comment and let us know. Till then, keep watching India TV.